YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, yo! And there's another episode of the Ballpark Show. I go through every MLB game every day and try and narrow it down to the plays that I personally see the most value in. Today's Monday, August 25th. I have 4 games and 4 props at the end, so stick around. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, I got swept, dropped both of my highlighted plays. Terrible day in terms of the games. First, we took the Washington Nationals and Philadelphia Phillies over 9.5 runs. There were chances, but really it was an under all the way through. I thought maybe even in the 9th, the Nats could tie it up and we could see something shake in extras, but final score was 3-2 Philly. Next, we took the Chicago Cubs on the run line in Los Angeles against the LA Angels. They got me on this one. It was actually an easy cash considering Taylor Ward hit a solo home run in the first inning, so we were getting plus money on the money line live. In terms of pregame value on the run line, though, I got cooked. The Angels scored their 3rd run off an error too, so it was extra annoying. Final score was 4-3 Cubs. I told you guys they always make it tough on Sundays, but that's also no excuse considering I decided to take 2 highlighted plays. We don't cry over spilled milk. Let's get back in that win column and start a streak today. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup, we have the Tampa Bay Rays in Cleveland taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians are minus 141 on the money line, and the total is 7.5 runs. On the mound, we have Ian Seymour going for Tampa, and we have Tanner Bybee going for Cleveland. Bybee's a decent option, but when I look at his career stats, he's really been regressing season by season, month by month. Rookie seasons in the 2s, sophomore seasons in the 3s, now we're in the 4s. It does concern me. Seymour only has 12 starts in his career, but he has the better numbers, both current and expected. Both lineups are bottom 5 in the league, and both teams have proficient bullpens, so for me, it really comes down to their current forms. I like the Guardians. I watch a good amount of their games, and their bats haven't looked the same over the last few weeks. I like what I've been seeing from the Rays in a lower scoring duel. I think they win this game. We're taking the Rays on the money line. You can find it for plus 118 odds as our first selection. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Philadelphia Phillies in New York taking on the New York Mets. Phillies are minus 128 on the money line, and the total is 8 runs. On the mound, we have Christopher Sanchez going for Philly, and we have Kodai Senga going for New York. On paper, this looks like a decent pitching matchup, but Sanchez is clearly the better option. 3.0 expected, he has a 95% ground ball rate, and the strikeouts to back it up. Senga's a solid starting pitcher, don't get me wrong, but he's not the ace they're making him out to be. He has a 75% ground ball rate, which is solid, but then he gives up hard contact and walks a ton of batters. The Mets lineup and bullpen have actually been better than Philly over the last 30 days, but I don't see that sustaining moving forward. The bullpen maybe, but I trust Philly's bats a lot more, especially as we get closer to the postseason. They should get to Senga in a big way. We're taking the Phillies on the run line. You can find it for plus 140 odds as our first highlighted selection. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Kansas City Royals in Chicago taking on the Chicago White Sox. Royals are minus 135 on the money line, and the total is 8 runs. On the mound, we have Noah Cameron going for KC, and we have Shane Smith going for Chicago. I know this looks like a mismatch on paper, but there are some questions about Noah Cameron's game moving forward. He's got a 3.4 expected ERA. That's a lot of regression from where he's currently at, and I see why. He's given up a ton of hard contact. I know you've seen the White Sox offense be more competitive over the last few months. All they're doing is taking advantage of hard contact. It's a tough matchup for Cameron. Shane Smith isn't anything special, and I don't love the White Sox bullpen, but the Royals offense has been quiet a majority of the season anyways, so I'm not worried about them putting up a bunch of runs. Yeah, they've been hot recently, but they aren't consistent. I think Chicago takes an early lead and doesn't look back. We're taking the White Sox on the money line. You can find it for plus 113 odds as our next selection. Let's move. In our last and final matchup, we have the San Diego Padres in Seattle taking on the Seattle Mariners. Mariners are minus 125 on the money line, and the total is 8 runs. On the mound, we have JP Sears going for SD, and we have Bryce Miller going for Seattle. This line makes me sick. How are the Mariners possibly favorites? Yeah, since joining the Padres, Sears has been getting blown up, but that's not his game. 4.1 expected, he limits the walk and doesn't give up much hard contact. Miller, 5.6 expected, all types of issues with his game. Then we get to the lineups. Last 30 days, the Padres rank 6th. The Mariners, 19th. San Diego has a huge advantage from behind the plate. Don't even get me started on the bullpens. Padres have the #1 pin in the league. Mariners aren't even top 10. Seattle's the favorite for some type of reason. I just must have missed it. We're taking the Padres on the money line. You can find it for plus 105 odds as our second highlighted selection. All right, guys, let me get into these props. They've been keeping me afloat, so let's stay locked in. First, we're taking Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees to get 2 or more bases. The guy's the hardest hitter in the league, and I love the matchup against Brad Lord. Next, we're taking Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies to get 2 or more bases. He's in that same conversation with Aaron Judge. 500 average and a 1.1 OPS against Senga. Next, we're taking Nick Kurtz of the Oakland Athletics to get 2 or more bases. I told y'all until this guy gets tested, I'm on it. Scooball's been looking shaky to say the least. Don't be surprised when this kid goes yard. For our final selection, we're taking Spencer Steer of the Cincinnati Reds to get 2 or more bases. Guy's been hot, and I don't trust Emmett Sheehan. Steer's got a 1.0 OPS against him. Clock it. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. 17 and 17 on all highlighted plays in August. I need to get back in that win column today. Still profitable, of course, with all the plus money, but I'll get right by the end of the month. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, yo! And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.